Welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, your weekly dose of what's new and what's nude in movies, TV, and Hollywood's sexiest stars. Now get ready for your host, the world's foremost authority on celebrity nudity, Mr. Skin.
The legendary Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin. Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast, from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts, Mr. Skin and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, sponsored by Stream8.com, the global leader in live streaming, with the hottest porn stars and amateurs broadcasting live directly from their bedroom to yours. Stream8 creates a totally unique and intimate experience where you get to direct the show however you want. With an endless variety of performers, you're sure to find your perfect match on Stream8.com. The question is, are you ready? Hey, Mr. Skin, are you ready for this show?
I am ready, Andrea. As we know from being out in Vegas, the biggest players in adult are the camming, and Stream8 is the well, I shouldn't say the New York Yankees. I shouldn't say the New York Yankees. I should say the Houston Astros of streaming. Yeah, they're monstrous. They're great, and thank you for sponsoring the Mr. Skin podcast. So. Yes, lots of nudity to get to. Lots of nudity. How you been, Andrea?
You know, I've been good, and I was just kind of looking over what we're going to talk about today, and I'm like, damn, there's so much that I've been missing.
Always.
I can't wait for Skin to fill me in, because I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what I'm looking at. But whoa, what I saw so far, I mean, TV, and I know we're going to get into it, but it's getting aggressive in a good way, of course. But it's like the things that they're doing, and I know every week I seem so shocked and like, oh my God, it keeps getting like more explicit. But every week I feel like, holy shit, it's getting more. How can it get more explicit?
Yeah, it's crazy. And today is going to be an episode where I catch up on some of the great TV stuff. I know the last few weeks we were. I did the nip slips and the TV. What was the other one I did? I can't
Mamma
even
Mia, nip slips.
TV Moms, was it?
I don't remember, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been so busy. Yeah, the TV Moms, the last couple of episodes, which are great, and I have fun doing those, but I always got to get back to these kind of live updates, but I got to get back to catching up on all the television, because you know, it starts to get too much to catch up with. But anyway, so the last 2 weeks was some fun things that I wanted to get to. But today, Andrea, I have a lot of television. I should tell you this. Last week, Joey, that runs my content department, who's awesome, really helps me out a lot. I periodically I say, could you give me an update of how many television shows we're tracking right now that have nudity, and you know, all the different networks they're on. And as of last week, we have 123 television shows that have nudity, that are live active shows across 36 networks. Netflix has the most shows with nudity, followed by Amazon, followed by HBO. So it's pretty incredible. And that's why these shows, when I go a couple of weeks without updating television, I'm like, holy geez, how am I going to get to all this stuff? But what I'm trying to do is also kind of pick the best stuff, and stuff that I think the audience would be most interested in. So
absolutely,
kind of weeded out some stuff that maybe is more for the hardcore fan, and get into stuff that you'd probably know more of the actors or actresses in the shows. So it'll be good. We got a lot of good stuff today.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready.
Yeah, so let me start catching up. By the way, it's official. After 6 episodes of The Deuce on HBO, it is the best television show for female nudity, active show right now. Obviously, when Westworld's back next year, it'll have a competitor. But to me, right now, best show for nudity. And I got to tell you, the other thing that I've been really realizing, I knew Maggie Gyllenhaal was in this. I figured she'd be naked. She's playing a stripper. She plays a stripper named Candy. But I mean, this actress, she's well respected. I mean, she was in Dark Knight. She played Rachel in that great 2008 Batman movie. She's a big time mainstream actress. She is so naked, Andrea, on this show. I mean, I remember the first episode, she put a condom in her mouth and gave an 18-year-old kid that was going there for his first time, put the condom on him with using her mouth. She's been pretty much every episode done an incredible nude scene.
Wild stuff.
Last night was no exception, and I'm amazed at how open and daring she's being with all this great nudity.
I know, and that's the best word for it. It's really daring. It's like, this is stuff you don't see. And as you mentioned, Amazon has tons of nudity, Netflix has tons of nudity, but like HBO, they've always been at the forefront. But the fact that it's like actually television, and it's such like an A-lister. I mean, it's crazy.
No, it's really incredible to see the stuff she's doing. I mean, last
she's
episode,
fearless.
The guy was going down on her. You saw a little bush. This week they were shooting a porn scene, a nurse porn scene. She was doing with Emily Meade, and I'll get into Emily Meade in a second. But you forget, like, she broke out. She did that movie Secretary with James Spader about 15 years ago, and it's an all-time King classic.
Yeah.
But here we are 15 years later, and she still looks great.
She's bringing the
Those
heat.
are natural boobs. She's a great actress. She's probably going to get an Emmy nomination for this role. And is naked every episode. It's the best of all worlds. Just really digging it.
Well, I think she figured it out because she was doing a lot of just great acting roles until The Secretary, but no one made a big fuss about her until The Secretary. And I think for her as an actress, she was like, oh, if I bust out the kinky side, I'm going to get great roles. I'm going to get talked about. I'm going to get more attention, and it's serving her well because it seems like everything she's done since then has been pretty naughty, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, and you got to figure to do the movie Secretary or Strip Search, whatever it is back then. She was obviously very fearless as an actress.
Absolutely.
And here she is. She doesn't have to. This was so amazing.
All.
She does not have to do this, and is doing it for our benefit.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, which is really cool. Now, I mentioned Emily Meade.
Yes.
I want you to see those boobs because they are so great.
She's perfect.
Emily, and what I love is they're filming like a nurse porno shoot
so cute.
in episode 6, season 1. Now, Emily Meade, we're fans of her at Mr. Skin. It's hard for me to like pinpoint any way you guys might know her. Like, one way would be first of all, she's the girl on the show that came from Minnesota, gets off the bus and gets pimped pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And so that's who she is on the show. But she was in Boardwalk Empire. If you remember, there was a prostitute who ended up getting disfigured. She on the show. It was kind of a gruesome scene, but she was on for a number of episodes there. She also was in a movie called Nerve, which I love the scene where she was in a cheerleader outfit.
Yes.
And they had to dare each other. There are these ongoing dares, an app that made they were daring each other until it got way out of hand. But in one, she had the moon as a cheerleader, moon the fans in the stands, and she didn't wear her underwear and mooned them. It was awesome scene. It won an Anatomy Award. So we've known about her, and I'm so happy to see her on the show. She looks great. But Andrea, look at those boobies.
Dude,
how nice is that?
I mean, skin. Do they get more perfect than that? They're
great.
Super perky. How old is she? Do you have any idea?
Good question. Maybe I'll have one of my crack staff get an exact age.
I mean, her boobs, they look 18, 19. I think she's a little bit older just because of the amount of work she's done. As an actress, not like plastic surgery.
She was born in 89.
Oh,
she
wow.
was born in 89.
Okay,
so I'm no math major. It's about 28 years old.
Oh,
so
damn.
that explains
She's 28 years old
perfectness.
with 18-year-old titties. Okay, Emily Meade, go ahead with your bad self. But they're perfect. They're not too big. They're not too small. They're like, I would say maybe the projection isn't big, but they're wide, like the width of a C, and they're just, they're glorious. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And they have a nice jiggle.
Great. Yeah, so again, not only Maggie Gyllenhaal in the great nude scene last night, but Emily Meade, who looks exceptionally beautiful with that little nurse hat and the perfect boobies.
I think this is the prettiest scene I've ever seen her in, where I'm like, damn, you're beautiful. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good catch, Skin.
So getting some more television from Sunday night, Ray Donovan, I know you're a fan.
You know it.
There was I'm always torn with the Mr. Skin podcast. Like, when I describe the nude scenes, I don't want to like give away stuff for guys that are 4 or 5 episodes behind. They're 10 episodes into the 5th season on Showtime. Mm-hmm. And they only have 2 more episodes to go. But let's just say our friend Lili Simmons, who's playing Natalie this season, a Hollywood star actress, is she's face down, butt up, one of our favorite looks. Yeah.
Once people see this episode, they're going to just be laughing like I am, because what a way to not really talk about what's going on and just be like, oh, she's face down, ass up.
Yeah. 2 episodes in a row, by the way. 2 episodes in a row. It was a flashback last night. But anyway, we're big fans of her from Banshee. She did a masturbation scene in Banshee that I still love. She was nude in the original True Detective, overshadowed, of course, by Alexandra Daddario's incredible nudity.
Everyone's overshadowed by Alexandra Daddario.
Big fans of Lili Simmons, and she's been naked. I was talking to Joey in content today, because we always kind of, before the show, I like to check in with him and get his thoughts, but we both agreed that as for nudity, Ray Donovan season 5 has not been equal to what I've seen in the previous 4 seasons. Yeah. Not saying there hasn't been some stuff, but it just hasn't been like a great nude season. There's 2 episodes to go, so that can change. But anyway, it's been a little light, but I will say it's been quality versus quantity.
Yes.
And the quality's been good when you could get a Lili Simmons butt up, face down.
And what a sweet ass she has.
Don't forget Paula Malcolmson, who I'm a big fan of ever since Deadwood. And believe me, I've had live wood ever since I saw her for the first time nude. And I loved her topless scenes, but like not a ton of nudity, but when they did do it, it was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In this season of Ray Donovan. Now, I know I'm going to do this one quick, because I know you're not a fan of the Kardashians. I know how you feel, but I had to include this in the weekly update of television because it's so freaking hot. So, Kourtney Kardashian is getting again, I'm a little rusty on the backstory here, but this is a backstory because it's about her butt. So, so she takes off her pants and she's in a thong, and Khloe and this Jonathan, is it Cheban or Sheben?
I don't know.
They massage her butt with some kind of rolling pin. It has something to do with she is concerned that she's getting cellulite or something, so it's a treatment, let's say. But I gotta say, it's pretty damn hot. And I was asking one of our content if it's Jonathan Cheban. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing his name right, if he's gay, because like only a girl would allow a gay guy to like rub the butt, but they were saying that he dates models and stuff. Like, how did this guy get to rub her butt in the scene? Anyway, so I don't know if he's gay or not.
But I will say, as much as I have a disdain for all things Kardashian, just because they've overtaken everything, Kourtney is the best as far as like, she's the most natural, she's the most real and authentic. So if I had to have sex with one Kardashian, I'd probably pick Kourtney. Just throwing that out there.
Well, and if that guy was gay before, he's probably not now after getting to do this. So she's laying on a couch, and Khloe's like got like a rolling pin rubbing her butt cheek, and he's doing something with like lotion, or I don't know, man. I just got to say that it's really hot. It's not a long scene, but it was one of the hotter things I saw this week, and we have that, of course, at MrSkin.com, so check it out.
All right.
I didn't want to get into too much detail because I know you're not a big fan of that, so no problem. Going down my list of other stuff I wanted to talk about this week is there's a show that's getting great reviews. It's called Mindhunter, which Netflix released season 1. And it's a new Netflix show. It's produced by David Fincher and Charlize Theron. When I say getting good reviews, I'm talking like 96% Rotten Tomato positive reviews.
Wow,
like,
that's impressive.
Really good. And it's based on the true crime book Mindhunter inside the FBI's elite serial crime unit. And it stars Jonathan Groff and Holt McClaney or something like that. And we went through... I hear everyone else is looking at this for, what a great show it is. And the second we get it, we're just rushing through to look at all the nude scenes. But it did have the one girl that did a real nice nude scene on this Netflix series, Mindhunter, is Hannah Gross, who plays Jonathan Groff's girlfriend. And they had a really intimate, hot sex scene, and she shows her breasts, and he goes down for a little munch of the box, which I'm seeing more and more on across all kinds of shows. Right? The guys are going down on girls and coming up with like little juice on the puss, or
on the
no
face.
Pun intended.
It all started with Shameless.
The juice is loose, right? Yeah, I'm just seeing it where you could see like they're keeping it real with the like making his this Jonathan Gross like chin and everything looking a little
damp,
damp, and it's a very hot scene. But what's cool, see, I'm going to have to watch Mindhunter because it's literally getting just incredible.
It's going to be on my list for sure.
Yeah. And by the way, they should change Hannah Gross's last name because she's anything but. She's super hot and great boobies and her boys going down on her.
Yeah.
And I just love the fact that when a show has nudity and has great reviews as a show, it's just the best of all worlds, like I said.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's called Mindhunter. It's a new show. My guys breathlessly went through it last week, and we're excited to bring you that. Something else we'll be watching. And by the way, season 2 was renewed even before they released this.
Oh,
so
wow,
that tells you it's a pretty good show. So check it out. I'm gonna definitely check out the episodes, but I've already seen the nudity, but I'll be looking. It's called Mindhunter on Netflix, and it's new, so check it out.
Absolutely, will do.
There's a show. This is weird. I had to go back and get more information on this because I saw it. So I was saying to you, we have this chat thing in our office. It's called Slack, and we have different channels, and all the new television stuff gets entered so that all the people that need to know, our writers, our content people, me, some other people, see this stuff as it happens, and they write up little, what's happening. So there's so many shows and movies where I only see the nude scene and I never see the show or the movie. Mm-hmm. But this one caught my eye and I wanted to bring it up. And it's not something that is easy to find, but we find all this stuff. So this Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams is the name of the show. Now, he is a sci-fi author. He was the creator of Blade Runner.
Oh, gotcha.
And this is a series of standalone episodes set in different and unique worlds. And it's, inspired by his short story. So like every episode, it's like basically an anthology show where every episode's different. So it's airing on this Channel 4 in the UK. And we, my Skin International division is on this, and I'm sharing this. I think people would be really interested in this because of who the author is, but also we found this really cool scene. So Anna Paquin in one of the short stories. So this was in episode 5, episode 5 of the first season. So Anna Paquin, who we all remember from True Blood,
absolutely,
is a policewoman living in the future, pursuing these like violent killers, and she has a sex scene with her lover, who's played by Rachel Lefevre. Rachel Lefevre is a French-Canadian actress. She's never been nude before, but we have her at the website. She's done some sexy roles.
She's
but never
real
nude.
Pretty, like beautiful.
Yeah, and they're in bed, and we get a little boobage from Anna Paquin, and then some side boob from Rachel, but just a really hot, sexy girl scene.
It's super hot.
Isn't it?
They're face to face. They're making out. It's like super passionate. They're writhing. Their sheets. And I will say a little bit, a little bit of Anna Paquin side boob is actually a lot of side boob because she has big boobs.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
Obviously, she showed them a lot more in True Blood. We got some great nude scenes here. This is only a brief nude scene, but it's just the passion and the sexiness. Yeah, you don't get to see Anna Paquin in lesbo action too often. And the other thing is so since True Blood ended, she did do a Canadian TV show where she was topless called Bellevue, but this is kind of she's back, since True Blood ended because no one saw that Canadian TV show. So this Electric Dreams, I'm happy to see Anna Paquin back, and very hot girl scene from Electric Dreams, Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams.
Oh, it's so funny.
What a weird name. I'd hate to be known as Philip K. Dick.
I know. Yeah. It's not a great last name, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, and like, I'm so immature. I remember being at a friend invited me to their country club, and they had all the past presidents of the country club, going back to like the 1920s. And they had this guy whose name was Richard Johnson, and I just like.
Well, how immature am I that I'm laughing at it now?
Right, because his name's Dick Johnson, and it's just
double winner.
Anyway, just to have anytime I see a guy with the name Dick, like Andy Dick, but Andy Dick's so nuts.
He's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Oh, you've met him?
I met him? He is horrible. He is. I will say I think it's due to his drinking problem. I don't know if he's horrible when he's
sober.
What's
your experience like? What was your experience with him?
Okay, so I worked with him in Vegas with Pauly Shore for his Showtime special. Vegas is my oyster. And he was so mean to me and my husband, like mean to us.
Really?
When we all went out to party afterward, we're at a booth with like Steve Green and what's his name? Dave Navarro, like all these like celebrities and comedians and rock stars. And Andy Dick was just being so rude. So I was like, okay, whatever. He was drunk. Then I was looking for a new co-host for my morning show and we auditioned Andy Dick. I was like, no, I don't want him. He's an asshole.
Right.
And, but the producers were like, oh, he's a big name. Let's see. And he was wasted at, 7 a.m, whatever fucking time we do the morning show.
Yeah.
And, when I was looking away at a guest, he stuck his fingers in his asshole. And then when I turned toward him, he stuck his fingers up my nose.
Come on.
On air. Live.
This is like Harvey Weinstein shit.
This is, and I was so pissed off because I don't care if guys act stupid or boys are immature, or I know Andy Dick is a dick, but I don't want your nasty ass E. coli up in my nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it crossed that line of like, this is funny into like, this is disgusting. And, you're live on air on Playboy TV. You can't, and I'm supposed to be, a dream girl, and I can't be like punching him in the face.
I mean, that's an amazing story. I mean, like I've heard stuff about him, and I've read a lot of stuff. I got to say, he was a talented dude. I remember watching his shows. Talented guy, but to do that would drive me nuts.
It's just like, who does that to a grown woman? Like, if you want to do that to like a guy in your man cave at your place. You know what I mean? Don't do that to a woman on live TV. It's just so rude. So we actually got him blackballed from Playboy TV after that because we couldn't have him be a risk with any other model or playmate.
Oh my God! What if he did that to one of your guests?
What if he did that to a playmate of the year or like Hef's wife or something? So so
that would be a playmate of the rear if he was there. Yeah.
So we just couldn't take the risk. Now, I will say again, for the record, I know he was drunk. I don't know. I doubt he acts that way when he's not drunk. So, and I do think I've caught wind that he is sober now. So I really do hope he is maintaining his sobriety because he is a total asshole when he's drunk.
Wow. Could you imagine if he did that to Hef or something? Yeah.
Oh my God. That would be, you don't even, God, that'd be so bad. But anyway, I had to be the fall guy.
God, that's quite, I'm still like, hold on, I got to take a sip of water. I'm getting disgusted.
It was so foul. Okay, moving on. Let's sex up the show. Let's go back to Anna Paquin's titties or something.
Well, before that, let's talk about our sponsor for today.
Oh, yeah.
There are some
put me in a good mood.
Pretty incredible cam girls on their site, Andrea, aren't there?
Well, definitely Andy Dick is not on Stream8.com, but absolutely hot babe. So Stream8 is a little different than most other cam sites. This site is totally free, which means you can talk with all the beautiful models in party chat without paying a dime. That's so badass. There are thousands of models broadcasting at any point in time, including porn stars like Diamond Jackson, Gina Lynn, Amy Fisher, Ashton Blake, and amateur hotties too, like Emma Lovett, Cassidy Nicole, and so many more. So Stream8 partners with some of the biggest adult sites out there. So if you have a favorite performer, chances are you'll be able to find her for a personal session. So we know you guys want to check out some of the best shows in camming. So head over to stream8.com right now to check it all out.
Yeah, and like I said, the Streammates, I was joking. So whoever wins the playoffs, the Streammates, they're either the Dodgers or the Astros of camming. So we'll see what happens.
And I got to go Dodgers just because I don't follow baseball, but I'm LA.
Believe me, you only knew how much I'm rooting for the Dodgers. So anyway, but all right. So there's still a lot of nudity to get to.
There's so much. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I wanted to say, now, do you know the show Riverdale?
No,
you know the show on the CW?
Because I pretty much don't watch anything that's not like on like premium cable.
Oh, okay, you're very snooty.
Yes,
I know
I'm
that
a
about
snob.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Riverdale is in their second season. They just had their first episode last week, and it's like Archie Comics meets Twin Peaks. It's dark. It's weird.
Oh,
it's a
good.
modern take on the old Archie Comics. Now, to give you an idea, when I was a kid, before the internet, and when I'd go on trips with my family, and we'd have to sit in a car, and you couldn't be on a phone or anything. I would read these fucking Archie comics. Like, I had stacks of them. I loved them. And I'll never forget, you know, there was Archie and Jughead and Veronica and Betty. I'll never forget, there was one, I must have been 11 or 12 or somewhere in that range. And I got a copy of one where Veronica and Betty were in the shower.
Wait,
at, like, at their high school.
What?
Like, they were, I mean, they didn't show their boobs, but they showed like the smoke, like the steam, and then you could see like their shoulders and their legs. I was so turned on by Betty and Veronica in this cartoon comic book in the shower. I couldn't stand it. To this day, I still remember how hot that was.
Did you get a boner?
And, oh my God, yeah. I want to say I pleasured myself to it, but I can't confirm it. All I know is that, you're
a bad boy.
Yeah, I made my Archie starchy when I saw that. Yeah, yeah. It's anyway. It's still Archie and Jughead and Betty and Veronica on this show Riverdale. And what's weird? This is going to be weird for me because we found a nip slip that is we've talked about this for the last week, and we're pretty confident we found this. And the only reason I am not 100% sure is just you never know. With sometimes a nip slip could be a shadow or something, but we've really looked at this like the Zapruder film. And what happened was, so Camila Mendez, who plays Veronica Lodge, joined KJ Apa in the shower, and KJ Apa plays Archie. So they're in the shower, and if you look,
I'm looking
while they're making out, you see like through like his arm and his back.
Yeah, there's a gap between his.
You see that gap, and there is a solid nip that we caught.
Yeah, it's
and
dark.
We were like, well, maybe she was wearing like a bra or something, and they just filmed it. But then we found an article in ET where she was saying how they were nude, and that the cast, they made the cast like the cast couldn't watch while they were unclothed. I mean, not the cast, like some of the crew and stuff like that. So we're pretty confident that, you know, it was a closed set because of the fact that she was topless, but the CW missed this little nip slip, and we were very happy to find it of Camila Mendez from Riverdale.
Now, what kind of fine do you think that would be if, like, that was caught by whoever the people that are always looking for accidents like that to fine production companies?
Yeah, I don't know how that works, because in the end, it's like only someone like me would get excited about a nip slip. Like, most people would watch that
and never notice, ever.
Never see it. But it's just a mistake. It happens. I mean, I remember Christina Aguilera did this thing called Diary, which was like this music thing on MTV, and she was topless, and they had pixelation over her nips. And whoever the hell was doing the pixelation at MTV must have been like an intern. They were like missing left and right. So like there was a few times where, like, even though she was moving around, you could see, like, she even had a pierced nip, and you could see it. So we have it at our website. It was like,
I think I remember that.
The greatest fuck up. Yeah, the greatest fuck up ever of pixel. Yeah. So anyway, we have that, but yeah, it's just a mistake, and that's what happens.
Well, we love mistakes around here, especially when they aren't ours.
We go through stuff with a fine tooth comb, right? We go through stuff with a fine tooth comb. So anyway, it was cool, and if for a guy like me that was a big Archie comic fan as a kid, this is even another reason this was pretty cool. So the show's called Riverdale.
Totally.
First episode. When you see Camila Mendez in the shower with KJ Apa, that's the nip slip we found, which is kind of fun.
Very cool. I'm all about it.
Yeah. So anyway, now, did you know that Sarah Silverman has a new talk show? Do you know about this?
No, I don't. It's so funny because I've seen some people use like images of her for new memes lately. I mean, I'd like kind of a talk show setting, and I had no idea where they were pulling this from or why she had a big resurgence all of a sudden. So that'd be why.
Yeah, well, she has a new show. It's called I Love You, America.
Okay.
On Hulu, and Hulu they don't do what Amazon and Netflix do. Hulu releases the stuff weekly. They don't do the dump like Netflix or Amazon. So for some reason, I don't know why our guys went through this right away, but the first episode was really funny. It's called I Love You, America. And it's a talk. So she's hosting this talk show, and it's supposed to like tackle the what they say is going to tackle divisive political issues. They're trying to find a common ground and understanding between all sides. So good luck with that. But what was really cool, and I watched this part of it, and it came out of nowhere. So it was funny that we found this right away because this wasn't something we were expecting. So she's up there talking to the audience, for her new show, and she mentions that, hey, this is Hulu, it's streaming. We could even have nudity. And she's like, let's try it. And she goes, I have two people sitting in the audience that are completely naked. So she had this dude, Scott, and then this girl,
Stella, named, by her name tag.
Stella Lofgren. They have hello, my name is tags on their chest, but they are wearing nothing else. And this GIF you're looking at doesn't show it, but they showed her full downstairs and everything. And
really,
Sarah Silverman was like, I just wanted to have naked people on the show to show that we could do this. And she's got big boobs. She's sitting there next to this guy, and right within the audience of all the people that are
clothed,
fully clothed. And she is completely naked. They actually, I should have grabbed this pic for you, but they scan down and show her full bush. And then, Sarah Silverman starts saying, well, you have a well manicured bush, which I like, and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. But this girl was completely nude on the talk show. And it was just a kind of a weird, funky thing we weren't expecting, but nonetheless, something I definitely wanted you to check out.
So are these talk show audience members, are these actors, you think, or are these just regular people that were willing to strip down?
No, because we looked, and that dude has been like an extra.
He looks familiar.
He's been on a bunch of different shows, like not a main character, but he's done it. And then she has a couple credits to her name.
Okay, got it.
By no means are anyone you guys would have heard of. But
right.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird. It was just like out of the blue and some pretty cool nudity. I'm a big fan of public nudity like that. And
I'm a big fan of Sarah Silverman. So I'm actually kind of stoked to see this.
Yeah. Yeah. So check it out. It's called I Love You, America. They've only released one episode on Hulu, but the next one should be coming up shortly. So
cool.
I don't know if I've talked to you about White Famous yet.
I don't think so. It does not sound familiar to me at all.
All right. Yeah, it's a new show from Showtime, starring SNL alum Jay Pharoah. He's a young comedian. He quickly rises through the ranks of Hollywood. He's kind of bracing for his breakout success. So a week earlier, the pilot episode, so last night, Sunday, October 15th, Showtime it finally aired on Showtime, but the week before, we picked it up via streaming service through Showtime so we could see it in advance. And lo and behold, so Jay Pharoah runs in, he goes to visit Jamie Foxx on a movie set, and Jamie Foxx is playing himself, and Jamie Foxx is banging this girl named Elizabeth Ruiz, and Jay Pharoah walks in and he continues to bang her, and then finally she gets up, but this girl has a rocking body. So I'm looking at her now. I had never heard of her as an actress, but then we did a little research, and this Elizabeth Ruiz, she's like a big Instagram model. She has like 500,000 followers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like TMZ had a thing where there's this guy on the Denver Broncos named Von Miller. I think he's on the Broncos. And she had a sex tape with him, or she made a sex tape with him, and she wanted like over $1 million. To not air it or something. So she's like a little bit of a crazy woman, I guess. But what a body on her. Look at that backside on there. That's that's a bootylicious backside.
That's a badonkey right there. It's just funny because as someone who's done plenty of acting jobs, I always put myself in the position of the actress, and I'm like, how almost like embarrassing must that be? Because when you're filming this scene, Jamie Foxx has a clear view of your asshole the entire time.
Right.
Yes. She probably doesn't care, because you're right. She does scream all kinds of crazy. But me, I'd
exactly. Because I was going to ask you, like, Jamie so he's laying on his. Yeah, he's laying on the ground. She is reverse cowgirl,
riding dick like a fucking animal. I mean, she's writhing, she's grinding, she's bouncing, she's undulating, and on.
Yeah, twerking almost.
She's
Yeah. And then
working
so
it.
you're pretty confident from his vantage point he could see asshole. Right? I mean, there's no way he can, right?
There's no
Right, I
way.
love
And
it.
what red-blooded American male would not take a peek at the asshole? Like, even if, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I didn't think about that.
That's what you got me for, babe.
Looking at this, but she has big boobs and this big butt, and he's got his hands on her butt, and she's riding his cock. But I didn't think about the asshole view, so that's a good perspective. So you wouldn't, as an actress, you wouldn't. That would be tough for you to be exposing your asshole to a guy.
Jamie
is what you're saying.
Foxx. I mean, maybe if it was,
I know that's a big name dude.
It's a huge name dude who's probably seen plenty of assholes because he's probably banging so many, groupies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't want too many people looking at my asshole. That's private.
All right. Hey, I'm with you there. But yeah. So anyway, the show's called White Famous. First episode aired. Jay Farrow's new show. First episode aired last night on Showtime. If this is any indication, I think we're gonna call this Brown Famous now because of the brown eyes scene. But if this is any indication, we will be tracking this big time, because if you have a show with a nude scene this good in the first episode, you got to have some more in the pipeline.
Dude, I'm crying over here, just so you know. Like, I literally am tearing up. Brown Famous. You're bringing it today, Skin. You're bringing it.
Oh yeah. Anyway, it's just what are you gonna do? Hey, a couple other little things I wanted to get. Oh, wait a second. I almost forgot about the Wheel of Skin.
I forgot too.
CP the EP. So if you don't know what the Wheel of Skin is, it's our fun big thing we do every podcast where CP the EP spins a big wheel of all our 27,000 actresses at MrSkin.com, and he pulls up a name of an actress, which I, of course, as Pat say, jack off. Who are you?
Vagina White.
You're Vagina White, and this is
Brown.
a Merkin, a Merkin Griffin production. And this is fun for me too, because he just randomly pulls a name, and then I give you a little background on her, and then kind of give you her skinography, or where I would recommend you go to see her naked. So why don't you spin the wheel, CP, and let me know who you come up with.
Okay. And we have Vera Farmiga.
Oh, that's a good. Do you know who she is? Does that name ring a bell with you?
I do know who she is, and I have always found her like enchantingly pretty. You know what I mean?
Oh my God,
she's just
sexy.
something.
Yes.
There's no one else that looks like her at all on earth. Like, she's so unique. Tell us all about her, Skin.
Well, I think now, a few years ago, this wouldn't have been the case, but ever since that Bates Motel was out, she plays Norman's mom on that. That's like kind of a big, that was her probably widest exposure. I know she was in the horror movie The Conjuring. That's where a lot of people know her. But this Bates Motel was a big deal show that did real well for a number of years. And if you haven't seen the show, there were some twists and turns, but she was so hot on that. And then I also remember her too. Remember that movie The Departed with like everyone had Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon?
That's where I know her from.
Yeah, she was the counselor in that with Leo DiCaprio, the Scorsese movie. And anyway, so she's been in a ton of movies. Great actress. She's from New Jersey. She's about, if I had to guess, she's about 44, 45 years old. But you're right. There's something about her. She's just really hot and beautiful actress. So let's talk nudity. She's been nude probably 10 times in her career. What? She's not afraid of nudity. Yeah. And if I had to guess, if I had to say, like, for me, if someone said, if I need to see the best Vera, is it Farmiga or Farmiga? Probably Farmiga.
I have no idea.
If I had to see the best Vera Farmiga nudity, what would it be? I would go, In Transit from 2008 is really awesome because she's in bed with a guy. I can't remember who she's in bed with, but she's in bed, opens the top, you get a great view of her boobs, and then the guy goes down on her, which was super, super hot. Another cool nude scene she did was in a 2004 movie called Down to the Bone. And she's doing blow at a kitchen table, then takes her top off with the guy, and he's topless too, but it's like in a normal little suburban kitchen, and there she is sitting topless after doing blow, which is a really hot scene. But
yeah,
I'm going to go with my favorite Vera Farmiga moment. She did, remember that Paul Walker dude that died from all those Fast and Furious movies? She was in a movie with him called Running Scared in 2006 or so. Mm-hmm. About 7 minutes into the movie, she's getting laundry out of the dryer, and she's like bending over, and you know how like the thong comes out of your jeans, so you could see like butt cheeks and thong, but your jeans are still on. You know how it sticks up at the top?
Yeah, they call it the whale tail.
Yeah, there's a whale tail. So Paul Walker's behind her, and he sees her, and he like gets all turned on, sneaks up behind her, pulls her jeans all the way off, moves the thong aside, banging her, goes down on her. It is so freaking hot. Andrew, you got to go watch that scene. It's from Running Scared, 2006, at the 7-minute mark. It's such a hot scene. That is my favorite Vera Farmiga nude scene. Of her many, she's been, like I said, naked 10 times.
And the best part about that is it's 7 minutes in. So even if you don't want to fast forward, it's a short commitment.
Yeah, it's actually a cool movie. It's really crazy. It's about a kid busting up a kiddie porn ring. It's weird. It's violent. It's I've
seen this because that scene sounds so familiar, and I'm into that weird sick shit. Perfect.
It's a weird movie, but this scene is so hot. I think I watched it recently a couple weeks ago, and it's really worth seeing again.
Excellent.
So anyway, great Wheel of Skin, Vera Farmiga. This week's Wheel of Skin in our, as Pat say, jack off. So anyway,
that's great.
That was fun. But I've a couple other things to wrap up the Mr. Skin Minute here. Just wanted to tell you again. It's been a while since I talked to you, so I can't remember if I mentioned. Netflix has another new series called Sabura: Blood on Rome.
That does not sound familiar to me, so I don't think we talked about it.
It's from Italy. All I could tell you, it's off the charts crazy. There's so much nudity. I wish I could tell you what it's about, but it's kind of like it's about a crime ring in Rome and the Vatican, and it's from Italy, so it's extra weird. But there's so much, and all the girls are Italian. It opens with a huge orgy scene that's very realistic and very well done. So the first episode has an orgy scene, then about 6 or 7 different hot Italian actresses were very naked in this. It's going to be in contention for one of the best shows on television for nudity, but it's called Sabura: Blood on Rome. It's a new Netflix series. Came out a couple weeks ago. I haven't been able to mention it yet, but my guys went through it and were like, the updates off of this were like through the roof. So lots of great Italian nudity from this.
This actually sounds like a really good show. We got an orgy scene, and they're talking about crime at the Vatican. Sign me up. I'm like,
right.
Love it.
No, it's really good. It's definitely a top 5 TV series for nudity when we do our Anatomy Awards next year. But anyway, so that's the TV stuff. One last thing I did want to mention is in movies, they released on Friday. Remember, I can't remember if it was my Fun Bag Forecast or my Toronto Film Fest report, but about 6 weeks ago or so, I mentioned that upcoming stuff, and one of them was the Meyerowitz stories.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler. Yeah, it's an Adam Sandler, Dustin Hoffman movie, and I was saying that Grace Van Patten was going to make her nude debut in it, and she is probably best known as being Tim Van Patten's daughter. Right. He was Salami in The White Shadow. He's been a director on Game of Thrones and Sopranos and stuff. But you don't see now. Technically, this isn't. I guess it's the movie's not directed by Adam Sandler. It's Noah Baumbach directs it. It's Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler play brothers. It's a drama. And normally a movie Adam Sandler's in will not have nudity, but this is really cool topless scene from Grace Van Patten. She's really hot, and she makes her own movies, and they're Adam Sandler and Dustin Hoffman, they're all watching what she's putting together, and she has a bunch of scenes in there where she's topless, and it's actually really good nudity, but a nice nude debut. It's always big at MrSkin.com when an actress makes her nude debut. So the movie's called The Meyerowitz Stories, and it's Grace Van Patten nude debut that just came out on Friday at at the movies. It's now available video on demand, and
it is.
Check it out.
You know, as weird as it is, it's very bizarre, weird nudity. But as far as the level, I got to give it an A+. She's amazing, and she's like totally acting like a complete weirdo. But there's like simulated sex, totally nude, walking down the road, jiggling, bouncing titties, big. Yeah. I mean, natural.
It's really good
stuff.
Yeah, so you could find it like on. I'm pretty sure you get on Netflix now, and it's in. I know it's in limited release in theaters, but very limited. It's hard to find. It's easier to find it, you know. But this Baumbach did Greenberg. I remember that, and anyway, so lots of good Grace Van Patten nudity in the Meyerowitz stories. That's out, and that's it, Andrea. So another great week for celebrity nudity.
That was absolutely fantastic, and it's like as amazing as Grace Van Patten's titties just were that we saw. I mean, we had 18-year-old titties on a 28-year-old body with
Emily
Meade in the
Deuce.
I mean, that was incredible, and I don't really think we can really beat that. But we did have.
We could beat it.
You could beat it.
You can't, but
we had some pretty insightful moments today on the show regarding you and me. Veronica and Betty gave Skin a boner in a comic book shower scene. You know, and I'll never be able to think of Archie Comics the same. And we also learned my asshole is private. Who knew? So
who knew anything was?
Right? I couldn't have found that out for myself. I was like, who knew that? So really great show. I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. We jammed a whole lot in, and I want to remind everyone to give us a call and leave us a voicemail if your if your question, your comment, whatever is cool enough. We'll play it on the show, and Mr. Skin will respond. The number is 484-SKIN-POD. Don't be shy. So incredible episode.
And we'll send you some swag. And we'll send you some Mr. Skin swag.
All right. Well, we'll see everyone next week. Have a good one.
You got it, Andrea. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
This concludes another skin-titillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.